I did something terrible 5 years ago. I'd been seeing a girl for about a month who was cheating on her boyfriend with me, and things ended, so I moved on with a girl who is now my fiance. However, 9 months later, the original girl messaged me asking me to take a DNA test for a kid, and the dates do match up to see if it was my child. I reckon it's a 90% chance that it is mine, as she didn't know if the dad was me or her partner that she'd moved on with. I arranged to sort out all the tests, but decided to get a homeless man to take my one, and I bought a spare swab to use in front of the girl so the test would say it's not my kid and she would be none the wiser about what I did.
Oh.
Now, 6 years later, I'm feeling really bad about it as I've moved on with my life and I'm engaged and looking to buy my first home. But I don't know whether I should continue with my current relationship like nothing happened or if I should end it and confess to the baby mom and go and be a dad to the kid. My fiance knows about it and has decided to stick with me as I never cheated. I just didn't tell her about this until recently. But she said she would have agreed with what I did at the time, as why should I ruin my life for something I didn't want? She wants assurances that if this ever comes out, I won't have a relationship with the child and just pay child support. I asked what she thought about me feeling bad and if I should put it right, and she said that I should just be glad I got away with it, as that would ruin my life and I would be really silly to undo a very clever thing. But I don't know if she's saying this out of her own interest, as she knows I want to be a dad. All my family and friends always say how nice I am, which I normally am, but I have no idea what I did, and I'm scared how they would react, and I'm not sure I should just take it to my grave or finally do the right thing. My heart says to do the right thing, but my head says don't be stupid and stick with my life now. Can someone
Oh
please give me advice?
my goodness.
That woman needs to go in the bin. She's a massive
Right?
red flag. She's a huge red flag, especially if they weren't together. I don't see the issue. If he's got a child, then he's got a child.
What's really
And
interesting about that is that woman, so the current partner now, has said if you do confess to it to your ex, that you promise you won't have a relationship with the child.
that's a big no-no.
Fuck you. What?
Why would you
That's a
want a man that would do that?
that's a ludicrous thing to ask somebody to do. So you lied. You now feel guilt. You think that child's yours, so you can admit that child's yours, but you're not allowed to have a relationship with that child because that's what I want. Well, sorry, get fucked. How about that?
Yeah.
Get
No.
fucked. I'm not going to try and go and pursue a relationship with the mother of my potential child, but I would like to pursue a relationship with the child because
Yeah.
eventually that will come out. Eventually it
Of
will
course
come
it
out.
will. That's the kind of thing that will eat you alive until it comes out.
Well,
And the
yeah.
longer you leave it, the worse it's going to be.
I fully get why this man did that initially. I get that. I really do. Like, if I was younger, and when I say younger, obviously, if I wasn't in a happy, stable relationship and I was younger, I would have done the same if I had the chance. And I know people may frown upon that. I'm not saying I'd do that now, but when I was younger, I definitely would have done that.
I think people make mistakes, and he's got the opportunity to put it right now, and he definitely should. And it sounds like he actually wants to make it right as well.
Yes.
Like
Otherwise, he wouldn't have sent it in.
he needs to take everyone else's feelings out of it, like all his friends and his family and his current partner. Take all their feelings out of it and do what you want to do and what you think is right.
What'll be really
That's
interesting,
it.
what's really interesting about it is the gent saying that they don't know what he doesn't know what his family and parents would say. Deep down, they're going to be like, fucking sick. We've got a granddaughter or grandchild. Amazing. Let's grow a relationship with this. Let's play catch up. Grandparents love that shit. As long as you've got a
Yeah.
good relationship with them, obviously.
She's wanting him to be manipulative and lie and just keep his distance. I
Out
don't understand why you'd want your partner to be like that.
out of
Why
that
you'd ask your partner to be like that.
out of that whole confession, the most shocking part for me was the current partner
Yeah.
saying, okay, if you do basically own up and say, yeah, maybe it is my kid, let's do a proper DNA test, you're not allowed to have a relationship with that kid. That was the most shocking bit for me. Not the fact that he got a homeless person to take a swab and basically so that it was kind of out of his life. Yes, I appreciate it takes two to tango and fuck, but I personally, and I appreciate there's some very strong opinions on this, I do personally think that it should also be a decision for the two people who are basically going to have that kid. I think I get, obviously the woman grows it and ultimately it is her choice, but I think it'd be be very unfair for a woman to have a child if the man didn't want the child because it wasn't suitable or whatever. That's just my opinion.
I actually agree
just
with
my
that.
opinion.
However, I will say, if a man makes that decision, I don't think it's fair for him to change his mind
No, agreed.
when the child's older.
Of course
I don't
not.
think it's fair for him to miss out everything, all the bringing
All
the
the hard
child up,
bits.
and
Yeah,
then
the hard
just
bits.
stepping back in when he wants to.
Nah. No, I agree
I
with
think
you.
that's bullshit.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think you either don't do it or you do it 100% and you're fucking all
Yeah.
in. And there can't be any
Yeah.
in between, because it fuck you and the adult's other mental health. What about the child? Because ultimately the
Yeah.
child's the one that's really going to suffer here. So yeah, I do agree with that. I fully agree with that. But I think that's a very, very complex debate for people to have. And I think
Yeah.
people have very good arguments on both sides of that. And there's some very neutral ground with it as well. But that's just my opinion. I appreciate, you know, it takes two to have sex. It takes two consenting adults. And obviously mistakes do happen and you do fall pregnant. But I think unless you both want that child and, you know, you're kind of in a stable relationship, having a baby is not going to fix your relationship, is it? So if you've got a shit relationship and you have a baby, it's not going to fix it. If anything, it's just going to drive you even wider apart. It's going to become real toxic. And then there's going to be the very stereotypical, oh, I'm baby mama and the dad's a cunt. But I think he's a cunt because he doesn't want to be with me and he won't see the whatever. Like, yeah, it'd be very difficult. But yeah, I think with that confession, my honest decision, and then I'll obviously let Kimmy give hers. My honest advice on that is you do what you want to do, not what anybody else wants you to do, because ultimately this is your decision and your conscience and you know how you feel about it. So I think if you do want to have a relationship with this child, if it's potentially yours, I think go for it, man. Follow your heart.
100% agree. I also think that it needs to like have a sit down and a think about this lady that he's with.
Yeah,
to make sure that she's like the one that he wants to be with, because she sounds toxic as fuck.
It's pretty wild. That's a really interesting thing to ask your partner to do, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a great confession, actually.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting thing to ask. Like, I don't think I could ever say to somebody, okay, you lied obviously about the child, so that basically it hasn't been your child for 6 years. If you do tell the truth, yeah, you're not allowed to be in that child's life though.
It's like if I knew someone had lied about that, if it was my partner that had lied about being a dad, I would be saying, you need to go and sort this out.
Yeah,
you need to go and see if that's your child.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.